y están citando en la maqueta. ¿O qué será? Una trompeta canta el poeta y están citando en la maqueta. ¿O qué será?
I'm sorry to my community for voting the way I did. I acknowledged the mistake earlier, but it's different.
You voted for Trump. How do you feel now?
Horrible. Horrible.
What did you vote for?
I voted for change, but I didn't vote for this change.
You thought you were going to be getting your green card, but instead they arrested you. Did they trick you?
Yes. They said, look, she's getting deported immediately.
No, dude, literally, bro, like, I didn't even think he was gonna be this bad, I didn't think he was gonna just deport innocent people, dude. Like, literally, he said he was only gonna go after gang members and, dangerous criminals.
When you acknowledge something, it's kind of like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that. When you say I'm sorry, it's more like, yeah, I fucked up. And I think I fucked up. Obviously, my one vote didn't make the difference, but it contributed. And I don't even know why I was, so bent out on the price of eggs, price of gas and shit. I have a fucking Tesla. I'm blessed enough to not know how much milk or eggs or none of that bullshit cost. I just go and buy it. My dumbass was joining the propaganda. Oh, look at all these people. They can't afford homes. Blah, blah, blah. I can go buy another fucking house. I fucked up royally. And so now, yes, at least I'm marching. I'm doing some research, spreading the word. But I truly wish that I was on the right side of history from the get-go. Not for selfish reasons, but because had I been, at least I would not have contributed to all these people that are being hurt in our community. I wouldn't have contributed to fucking U.S. citizens being arrested because God decided to use more melanin when he was creating them. I wouldn't have contributed, and I wish that was the case. But I fucked up, so I'm sorry. But you have my word that moving forward, I'm going to be on the right side of history.
Yes. They said, look, she's getting deported immediately.
He supported Donald Trump. His whole entire family supported Donald Trump, and now she sits in an ICE detention center awaiting deportation. She's from Canada, and get this, she was picked up at her green card appointment. So she was going to an appointment. This was in line with her getting her green card, and that is where they detained her. Now, as you can see in her interview, she also supported Donald Trump. She couldn't vote for him because she's undocumented, but she supported him and supported her husband and her husband's family for Donald Trump. And I don't know what to say because we told you this was going to happen. They all think, well, he was only supposed to deport the criminals. We told you that meant you as well. They think that you are a criminal. And it's just frustrating because the Latinos for Trump community was so loud, so boisterous. They made their entire fucking existence known the whole election cycle, telling us that we were wrong and we had no idea what we were talking about. And now the Latinos for Trump community is getting wrecked across the nation.
How did my parents get here? They crossed the border. What's a tariff? A tariff is kind of like a tax, but we don't pay for that. Don't worry, China's gonna pay for that, and Mexico, not me. Yes, I did see that the stock market was crashing, dude, but you have to understand, dude, literally, it gets worse before it gets better. I promise. It gets worse before it gets better. Yeah, I graduated and I wanted to work for the government, dude, but I don't know, they took away my offer because Trump's Doge cuts and stuff and Elon Musk, but it's okay. Maybe I'm not meant to work in the government, maybe I'll be okay. I'll find another job. You have to understand that tariffs won't really affect us as long as you buy American products,
So recently they did a focus group where they invited several Latinos. All these Latinos voted for Trump, and they stated that they regret their votes for Trump because of the economy and mass deportations, which was Trump. Trump was really transparent on these particular issues. He been running on border security for over half a decade. He been running on tariffs and who could use which bathroom and who could play in whose sports. So there's no possible way you could really have voters remorse when Trump was completely transparent. I just find it interesting that this study comes out after Trump took funding from this grant for Hispanics and redirected those funds to HBCUs. This is very telling, and they go on and say that if it was a do-over, they still wouldn't vote for Kamala. They'll vote for a third party or stay home. How Mano say it? Hi haters, remember that song?
Hello Hello guys, and welcome to the Joy Report, where we get an outsider's view with an insider's clarity. Latino voters played a huge role in DT's rise, especially in key battleground states like Florida. For years, Republicans have worked to chip away at the Democratic advantage with Latino communities, and DT managed to do it with a mix of fear tactics, culture wars, and promises of economic prosperity. Many Latinos bought into that message, seeing him as a defender of family values, law and order, and the American dream. But now, months into his presidency, and with the country buckling under his economic disasters, regret is setting in. For many, the realization has been brutal. Supporting DT was a textbook FAFO moment. Mess around with a reckless leader, and you end up facing the consequences. Before we proceed, all credit goes to the creators of these videos. Let me roll a few more clips, and I'll come back with more commentary.
Yeah, them Latino for Trump folks got real. It's mute. I don't hear nothing ever since that executive order came out. Yeah. Now you thought I forgot about y'all. You thought we forgot about y'all. The Latinos for Trump. I will vote for Donald Trump. Now look at y'all on hush mode. Because you realize that executive order affects you, affects your kids, affects your spouses, affects your parents, affects your friends, affects everyone around you that you've ever loved and cared about that was not born in this country. Now look at you. They're going to be able to snatch you up and lock you up based off of your accent and skin tone alone. Even if you are a white Cuban or a white Puerto Rican or a white Dominican, it don't matter. If your accent even got a little bit of a twang in it, you're cooked. Welcome to the real world, jackass.
I wanted y'all to see all that before I even said anything. Federal agents in Los Angeles carrying out the immigration crackdown can continue to decide which people to stop and at least briefly detain for questioning based solely on one or a combination of 4 factors that a lower court judge had deemed unconstitutional. Those factors are people's apparent race or ethnicity, Latinos for Trump, the fact that they speak English with an accent or speak Espanol, their presence at particular locations like farms or pickup sites for day laborers, and the type of work they do. So Latinos for Trump, y'all are mighty quiet. This is not just gonna happen in Los Angeles. This is literally across the board. So Florida, that's you. New York, that's you. Chicago, that's you. The entirety of the East Coast is fucked. That's all I'm gonna say right now. Y'all voted for this and called us crazy when we said that this was going to happen, that we were fear-mongering. It was all in our cabezas. That's what y'all were thinking it was happening here? Now y'all gotta worry about who's listening to y'all speaking Espanol in the streets. You can't even speak Spanish outside. You better learn how to mask that accent. I am the darkest of 5 siblings. Second darkest when it comes to my family, my mom and my dad. My dad is darker than me. So I have a little bit of protection, but the rest of my family doesn't. And I was told that I was thinking too much and, that I'm American and my parents are American, that we should be fine. Now look,
When DT ran, his campaign spoke directly to Latino fears. For Cubans and Venezuelans, he leaned on anti-socialist messaging. For Mexican and Central Americans, he talked about religion, border security, and hard work. For Puerto Ricans, he dangled promises of recovery after Hurricane Maria. Across the board, DT painted Democrats as radicals who would destroy the country. The strategy worked in pockets of the Latino community, flipping long-standing loyalties and creating the illusion of a broader conservative wave. In Florida, Miami's Latino population shifted hard toward Trump, giving him a stronghold in a critical swing state. Republican gains among Latinos were noticeable. Many celebrated, proudly waving DT's flags and declaring their support. They saw themselves as part of a movement that was going to save America. But fast forward to now, and the regret is almost unavoidable. Economically, DT's policies have been devastating. His tariffs and trade wars have driven up the cost of goods across the board. Latino working families, many of whom relies on hourly wages and small businesses, are watching their paychecks shrink while their expenses skyrocket. Rent is through the roof, groceries cost more than ever, and job security feels fragile. Instead of prosperity, there's financial pressure, and those promises of an economic boom under DT have proven to be empty. Even small business owners who once praised DT's tax cuts are realizing they've been left behind. Rising import costs and fewer consumer dollars mean many Latino-owned businesses are struggling to stay afloat. The American dream that DT claimed to defend is slipping further away from these families, and that harsh reality is creating a wave of regret. Then comes immigration, the issue that DT weaponized the most. Some Latinos believed him when he said he would fix the system fairly. They thought his hardline stance would only target illegal immigrants while leaving their own communities safe. But they learned quickly that his policies don't discriminate. Deportations, family separations, and visa restrictions have affected all Latino groups, including those who stood by him. TPS was slashed, asylum opportunities narrowed, and families who thought they were secure suddenly faced deportation notices. The very leader many Latinos trusted has shown them that loyalty doesn't protect you from cruelty. Culturally, the fallout has been just as sharp. Some Latino DT supporters aligned with him to distance themselves from other minority groups, buying into anti-blackness or anti-immigrant narratives in hopes of being seen as different. But that gamble hasn't paid off. In the eyes of DT's movement, Latinos are still Latinos, still immigrants, still outsiders to be used as a wedge issue. That realization cuts deep as families see that the rhetoric they supported has circled back around to target them too. Younger generations of Latinos are especially vocal about their frustration. Many of them warned their parents and grandparents that DT's promises were lies, that his vision for America didn't include them in any meaningful way. They warned that he would come after their communities eventually. Now those warnings look like prophecy. Families are arguing over politics, with younger Latinos calling out the older generation for helping ruin America by voting for DT. The generational divide is growing, and it's fueled by lived experiences of student debt, job insecurity, and attacks on reproductive rights, issues where DT has consistently failed. The regret isn't always loud, but it's visible. The DT parades and flag-waving rallies that once filled Latino neighborhoods are far quieter now. Many who used to shout their support are suddenly silent, avoiding political conversations because they can't defend what's happening. Some admit openly that they made a mistake, that they didn't realize how far Trump would go, or how badly his leadership would hurt everyday families. Others still refuse to acknowledge it, doubling down despite the chaos, but the silence of many speaks volumes. Across the country, Latino voters are seeing the consequences of believing in DT's version of America. Instead of stability, they've gotten chaos. Instead of safety, they've gotten uncertainty. Instead of the American dream, they've gotten higher bills, less opportunity, and broken promises. And the most painful part, many now recognize that their votes helped push America further into this crisis. It's the ultimate FAFO lesson. By aligning with DT, Latino voters in states like Florida and Texas believed they were protecting their communities, but instead, they ended up helping dismantle the very structures that could have supported them. Healthcare expansion blocked, immigration reform destroyed, worker protections rolled back, college affordability ignored, and now the consequences are at their doorstep. History will look back on this moment and see a community that, in parts, helped fuel a movement that turned against them. That doesn't mean all Latinos supported Trump. Far from it. But those who embraced him tipped the scales in certain places, and that influence reshaped America in ways that can't be ignored. So the big question remains, what happens next? Will Latinos who supported DT finally realize the harm and break away from him? Or will their fear and propaganda keep the cycle alive? Will they pass down the lessons of this FAFO moment to the next generation? Or will history repeat itself? The truth is, Trump Latino voters are waking up to the reality that they didn't just gamble with their own futures, they gambled with the entire countries. And as regret sets in, the consequences are unavoidable. FAFO season continues, and this time, it's hitting Trump's Latino supporters harder than they ever imagined. So what do you all think? How much responsibility should Latino Trump supporters take for the mess America is in right now? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I would love to keep this discussion going. Otherwise, that's it from me. I also have a FAFO playlist, and if you enjoy such kind of content, please click up here and enjoy. Also, consider subscribing, liking and sharing because it helps me grow my channel and helps YouTube recommend this video to a wider audience. But for now, thank you so much for watching. And until the next time, the Joy Report out.